Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're joined here tonight in the studio by Dr. Amany Hawla, the physician, the writer, and head of the Board of Trustees of an NGO. Dr. Hawla, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much.
Doctor, now, first off, if we're talking about social protection programs and initiatives, now, the Decent Life Initiative alongside the Takaful and Karama, Solidarity and Dignity, among many other programs and initiatives, have been trying to safeguard the standard of living and raise the standard of living of the Egyptian citizens, be it all over Egypt and especially the countryside as well. How would you rate the efforts so far by the government to work and initiate these projects? Because we're now in the second and about to get into the third phase of the Decent Life Initiative. How would you assess the overall performance and the progression of such programs?
We have to admit that we used to have a very difficult lifestyle and level unacceptable at all and unhuman for more than 50% of the Egyptian citizens, especially in the Upper Egypt rural areas. To just reach the standard which is acceptable as a beginning, this is a great effort. We have not to be over expecting, but starting be better than just watching and being in a dilemma of how to achieve great results. We are like slowly but better than stopping, reaching a very good level with many of the target villages. They are around 4,700 main big villages, yes. And there are 28,000 sub villages included. The efforts have been achieved, should be accepted as a great jump in comparison with the previous condition. But still we have a long way to go.
Yes. Well, we spoke many times about such an initiative such as the Decent Life Initiative, which focuses on Upper Egypt and the countryside in general, as you've mentioned, over 4,700 villages and sub-villages as well. Now, there were certain challenges that the government wanted to overcome, starting when the program was initiated at the start. Now, we are in the midst of the second phase and about to get into the third phase. Did these challenges change with time, with the experience of the first phase? Are newer issues and obstacles became clearer than the ones the government and the program has been targeting for some time?
It's very complex question. We have to start with the beginning. Of course, there was a very big challenge in the beginning, especially with loss of trust, yes. Because people used for decades to hear very good promises, but nothing is implemented. To convince people by action, by numbers, by achievements, that we are really doing something on the ground, not just giving promises, this was the first challenge, and already is overcome. The second point, that unfortunately we have enemies somehow. We can, and the bad point is that when the enemy is embedded inside the community, by illiteracy, by ununderstanding, whatever, yes. We will give good intentions, but still we have really people who are trying to give bad impressions, spread rumors about any achievement, especially in the social media, which becomes very effective yes. In a negative way most of the time, unfortunately. So this is the second obstacle starting to emerge after we starting to move the wheel. Still, whenever we have something appearing on the ground, we are starting to make steps or reactions yes. Towards it. But this is what's happening now. every time and we are updating ourselves and
Yes.
updating it's a war actually, updating our tools to reach our targets.
Yes. Dr. Hawla, now we're going to try and focus on different aspects of these social protection programs and these initiatives. Let's start with the housing in specific. We've seen many villages and people living in the countryside, especially Upper Egypt as well. Everybody had an issue with the housing, the sanitation, paving the roads, and this was one of the main infrastructure points that the Decent Life Initiative wanted to tackle. Now, over 1,000 villages so far have been subjected to the work of the Decent Life Initiative. Has the housing improved for citizens in the countryside?
Of course, not just the houses, the way of thinking, because unfortunately, with accumulation of problems and losing of hope, people start not to take care of even the small details like hygiene, recycling, improving keeping the good condition of all the facilities they have. Of course, there is great improvement. People feel happy when they have something good and a good condition or new. They start to take care. But before, they had nothing to worry about because they feel very disappointed. So when they have something, they start to feel responsibility about it. They start to take care of it. Yeah, some villages, I start to see people advising the other, stop throwing garbage on the way, stop doing so. They have start a feeling of loyalty and trying to take care of the environment after they have seen the change happen to their environment.
Yes. I mean, yourself being a physician, you have more of an analytical point of view regarding the developments or the progress made within the health sector and the health services for the countryside and villages under the umbrella of the Decent Life Initiative. How would you rate the performance of, or the level of health services provided to the countryside and especially in Upper Egypt? And not just the services being provided, but also the citizens being receptive enough and really interacting and accepting the health services, because you've mentioned that there was a trust issue at the beginning and many of the citizens were quite skeptical because they're used to being neglected for many years, but now the focus and the attention is there to serve them. So how would you evaluate the health services being provided?
And if we just mention the virus C, it's a miracle. Really, I am a physician. Till now, I don't understand how he did it. Yeah, it's so simple. My son is living in the States. He was born there, so he's an American citizen. He had virus C, and they refused to give him the medicine. Although he has an umbrella of medical insurance, because it's very expensive. It's $70,100 US dollars. Can you imagine? It's more than $1 million for a packet of drug. So they refused, and they said we have a waiting list, and kind of procrastination.
Yes.
So I brought him from here and gave it to him, and thank God he survived. And the medical doctor responsible for him, she was very impressed, and she asked him to bring the drug because she never saw it in her whole life. They never give it to anybody because it's very expensive, and they are trying to play around not to give it to anybody. I was really appreciating many of the Egyptian not less than 20% of the Egyptians were suffering from the hepatitis, and the effectiveness of the drug and the price and the availability, even for free, you can get it so easily. It's a miracle. This is alone is a great achievement. Especially بقى add to it many of the initiatives, presidential initiatives, and they are all targeting the rural areas who used to suffer and يعني make a lot of efforts to reach a good medical care in the capital, unfortunately, because they don't have in their area around. But of course, the medical initiatives and improvement really survive, يعني make many people survive.
And are citizens aware, I mean, not just dealing with an illness that they suffer from, but also the preventative sort of medicine, going for regular checkups, the predictability of their cases or what they would be susceptible for? Are they aware to, did they reach that sort of next level of health and medical awareness?
If you, because we are going there and see people, it's like they are going for a picnic. They are start to collect themselves, collect each other, call each other, let's go, and they are well dressed and take their kids with them. Start to socialize about what's going on. Even they start to have some medical terminology, because they are listening, and they, at the beginning they don't understand. They start or try to understand. But actually, it's a great improvement in their awareness. We can feel whenever we go there.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, also the Social Protection Program is working on promoting the social justice, achieving sustainable development, which also goes along the Egyptian vision for the year 2030 to achieve sustainable development. Let's check out this report and we'll be right back.